Welcome to Rambam in Depth. Today we'll be discussing the Rambam, Hilchos Shaila Upikadon, Perek Shevi'i, Halacha Gimmel. The Rambam writes as follows: Hamafkid Chometz etel chaveri. Someone entrusts Chometz with his friend, Ve'giya Pesach, and Pesach is arriving. He cannot touch it, can't do anything with it. Ad shach hamishis, until the 5th day, miyom arbasar, or the 14th day of the month of Nisan. That means when the time of the prohibition of Chometz arrives. So until that time, he shouldn't sell it. Mikan ve'elech, but from that time and beyond, Yaitse, he goes out, u'meicher b'shuk l'shaitai, and he sells it in the marketplace at that time. Why? Mishum hashev Aveidah l'baylam. He's restoring a lost object to its owner. It's like if you find something that belongs to someone, you have an obligation to return it. Here too, this person is going to be losing his chometz because it's going to become forbidden. Once it's forbidden, that's it. So you have a right, you should sell it in order to save him from the loss. So it's clear from this Rambam that you're able to sell something that doesn't belong to you. Based on what? So the simple understanding is that there's a halacha Zachin la'adam Shelo b'fanav. You could do something on behalf of another person without their knowledge if it's for their benefit. So you become a shliach. It's as if the person appointed you to be his shliach, to be his agent, and you could sell something as the agent of the owner. But the question is asked, Ketzos HaChoshen in Siman Reish Mem Gimel says something very well known. It's his shita, that the kalal, that this rule Zachin la'adam Shelo b'fanav, that you could do something to acquire something for a person without their knowledge. It's only Zachin li'adam. It's only if you're acquiring something for the person. You're giving the person something that he benefits from. That's the din of schia. But if it's Zachin mei'adam, if you are trying to take something away from someone, even if it's for their benefit, there is no such halacha. It's only Zachin li'adam. The Ketzos HaChoshen says that. The Mekebes HaMishnah on the Rambam says that. But the Tzemach Tzedek in his tshuva in Arachaim Simin Lamed says totally the opposite. He says no. If schia is medin shlichus, if you say that the reason why you can do something for the person's benefit without their knowledge is because anan sadeh, we are witnesses that person would have appointed, wants to appoint you to be his shliach. So it's as if he actually appointed you as a shliach. And in that case, what's the difference? As long as it's a schus, a complete schus for the person, it's for their benefit, you could do something for them, either to give them something or to take something from them, as in the case of selling the chometz. So this Rambam seems to prove that point, that Zachin mei'adam. So this question is asked by the Yitzchak in this Chub's Be'er Yitzchak, and he says that there's a special din by a Shomer. Mishnah and Mafkid tells us that if a Shomer is willing to pay for the stolen object, even though he's a Shomer Chinam and he's no longer obligated, he could release himself from compensation. But if he wants to pay for it, then he gets the kefil. So the Gemara asks, how could you get kefil? It's a davar shalei bala olam. It doesn't yet exist. And the Gemara answers that when you give something over to the shomer, it's as if the person tells him, it's a stipulation that if it's ever going to be stolen and you're going to be willing to pay for it, I'm selling it to you right now. So the same thing that Be'er Yitzchak says in the case over here as well, it's as if the owner tells the shomer that if it would ever get stolen or something similar to stolen, like it's going to be lost because the Pesach will come and it's chometz and it's going to be destroyed and you'll suffer a loss, then I am acquiring it from the very beginning of the shmirah, and then once the shomer acquires it, he could sell it. It's his. That's the Be'er Yitzchak. Rav Zalman Nechemia Goldberg, a contemporary Pesach, says no, it's a special din of Aveidah. By Aveidah, if the loss for you keeping the Aveidah is greater than the benefit, then you're allowed to sell it. Why? Because there's a special din b'Hashavas. The Torah says you have to return it to him. You have to make sure that it's going to be restored to the owner. So there's a special din by Hashavas Aveidah. But if you say like Tzemach Tzedek, that you say Zachin mei'adam and Zachin mei'adam because it's midin shlichus, but the Ketzos holds that it's not midin shlichus, although there was a machlekes of Rishonim, and he's following the miut of Rishonim, which is a pella, because most Rishonim hold that it's a din of shlichus mamish, and the Rambam himself, the Al Tzemach Tzedek, shows that the Rambam himself holds that it's midin shlichus. Therefore, there's no question in the first place. He's a shliach to sell the Chometz for him on his behalf to make sure he doesn't suffer a loss.